Number one, we got to get kids back out, in numbers. But if kids don't believe that they can be successful, they're not going to be successful. And that's just a philosophy I got, that we're all on this earth to be champions. God put us here for a reason, and it's not to be average. So many of our kids just don't believe, and it gets back to kids believing, and then a faster, stronger, bigger athlete is a more confident one. We've got to get to work. There's no secret pill that I give them, and you just believe it. It's that old school mentality. You got to break them down and build them back up, and it goes back to the weight room. You win games from January to August. It's not what you do August, September, October. And it takes time. I'm not patient, but every place I've been, even talking to Mr. Hicks, we had to run into practice so many times, in 6A when I was at McGill-Tulane. But in 05, we make the playoffs. And in the first round, we played Daphne, and it's 9-7 at halftime. And I'm bouncing off the walls. We're going to beat mighty Daphne. And you can look at our kids. They don't want anymore. In the second half, they physically wore us down. Where that second year, that weight program kicks in. We win the region for the first time in 20 years. Make it to the quarterfinals. We're facing Prattville in 06. 9-7. No, it's 10-7 at halftime. So it's a similar situation. Again, I'm bouncing off the walls. We got a chance, and those kids, they didn't want anymore. And Prattville took it to us. That's the first championship Bill Clark had there at Prattville. Then that third year. It's really that third and a half year that weight program kicks in, and we win the region again, go 10-0, and go back to Daphne in the quarterfinals and beat them. And then we go up to Prattville, and it's 7-0 with 2 minutes left, and we had 4 turnovers, they had none. So it gets back to that work ethic. We've got to get back to work. But at the same time, kids got to believe, and it's got to be team. It can't be individuals. And that's what we've got to change, that culture, and it starts immediately. You got 24 hours. Yeah. If you look at yesterday and you had a great day yesterday, and if that's what I've done enough, you're going to lose today. That's that average. You get better, you get worse. Life, you're going to have a bad day. Something bad's going to happen. And if you dwell on the past, whether good or bad, you don't see the great things in front of you. What we can control of these 24 hours God gave us. We got to win today. We get better. And it starts with your attitude, your self-discipline, and that you motivate yourself to be the best in everything you do. And that's what you put into them. Because if you come in and, all right, let's win. We're going to win state championship this year. You lose that first region game. You lose that third one. Kids that are, they're going to lose track of how are we going to win it now? Take it a day at a time. Take it a practice at a time. Take it a play at a time. You got to break it down that way, because in a game of 60 to 80 plays, something bad's going to happen. Right. And if they dwell on it, or if they you don't see the great things in front of them. You got one day, and in a play 6 seconds, you got one play. Win that one. So you break it down in small ways so kids can stay focused on that task. Because it gets back for me is you do that to build those big blocks to building that championship, and then you treat it almost like the SEC. You better win your region to even think about a state championship. And the SEC, except for this year with Alabama, you better win that division, win the SEC before you go on to that next level. So you set it up in small stages and build from there. We went 9-3 this year, and I was only there for 9 months, and the year before they were 6-5, and the mentality there was just make the playoffs. We're happy. We make the playoffs. I don't understand that, and a bad year to me should be 9-3, 10-2. We were able to get there, and it took some time, but we got them believing. But then it got to a part where, okay, we're satisfied again. We won the region. We won a playoff game, and that was enough. I don't understand that. I want to be the best at everything we do, and it's not because of me. I'm hard on myself. I mean, brutal. To the point my mother, being a coach's wife, and my wife are worried about me. And I'm like, guys, you ought to know by now. I'm happiest when I'm like this. My biggest fear is letting kids down. And somebody outworking me. And that's one way to get me riled up. If the coach down the road got up at 3:58, I'm going to get mad. I'm going to get up at 3:57. Yeah. That's just me. But average is just it's unacceptable. And you're going to have years where injuries are going to hurt you, but it's excuses. Don't make excuses. Outwork people. Prepare. Have plan B, C, and D ready to go. But 6-6 and to go 10-2, 9-3 every couple of years isn't good enough. We want to reload. And that's what we've got to do, is get in the pattern of building a foundation, starting from our rec league and those little kids, that second grader and that fifth grader, building a solid middle school program, freshmen on through, and build it and just start reloading. And yes, it's going to take 2, 3, 4 years, but I'm not patient. We're not going to wait. It's not okay. We need to go out in this community and demand perfection, and that's what I'm expecting. Extremely intense. I coach every child as if they're my own. I'm hard on them, but I hug them. I tell them I love them every day. But just like my own children, I'm hard on them. I expect a lot because I expect that much out of myself. I don't expect everybody to be like me. I don't expect, I'm a task-oriented person. We're going to outwork people, but it doesn't mean we're going to be out on that practice field for 4 hours. We're going to work harder than anybody at a faster pace for 2.5, 3 hours and we're done. Same thing in the weight room. It's first man, first set, 30 seconds, I time it. We'll get 12 lifts in a 64-minute period. No talking, no music, everybody in high intense and high working. If we're up 40-0, or if it's 7-7, my demeanor doesn't change. I coach every down. Because if you get up ahead and you say, okay, we've done enough, you're going to lose eventually. It's going to catch up. Call a timeout first round playoff games. We're playing Brookwood. It's 42-7, and our kids quit playing hard. Call a timeout, and I'm going to chew them out. I'm going to get on to them because it carried over. We started playing the score, and it caught up with us. Spanish Fort took it to us the next week. That's how I am. It's perfection. It's every down. It's every second. It's high intensity. And the kids inherit that personality. And that's what they need to take on, this personality. I keep it interesting, I'll tell you that much.